I know you're all very excited. You just had breakfast. You're going to work that off here. My name is Jason Moodie. I'm representing the Museum of Fine Arts Houston this morning. I am the Teacher Programs Manager here. Education is a big deal to me, and as I say at all of my teacher events, y'all are my favorite people. Thank you all for coming here. I really do mean that. Education is paramount to us here at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston. We have a collection of work that spans well over 3 million years currently. From the Arab Peninsula upstairs, we have work in there that spans about 3 million BC, up to current works of art that are from modern artists. So we are really looking at how to educate the world, how to educate Houston about the world. And as I notice, one of the A+ challenges here, or the mottos, is a global perspectives on education, and really that's what we're looking at here as well. And it's lessons in learning for a flat world. This increasing flat world, the ideas of education are coming from all around the world, are coming from everywhere, they're not just coming from here. And it's what a wonderful opportunity to have a conversation on the importance of education and the importance of children and their learning and how to educate the whole child. And what a great opportunity that we have to partner with Houston A+, as well as A+ Up, and I'm sure Scott will mention a little bit about that. But we're so happy to have you all here, and please enjoy the rest of the day here at the museum. Make sure you take an opportunity to scatter and to look and to ask questions and to enjoy your time here. I know some of you have to rush off and go back to schools and other meetings, but come back. We enjoy having you all here. It's what makes our job fun. And with that, I'll turn the time over to Scott to introduce the rest of the morning.
This is probably the 4th or 5th year that Chevron has sponsored the speaker series, and I should probably say this has been the most well-attended series. When we were thinking about what we could bring to Houston, Houston is an international city, and a remark that I made last night at the Chevron dinner where we hosted Ee-Ling was that I think Texas and Houston have some decisions to make around the data that we pay attention to. Ee-Ling brought up Massachusetts as a state that has really moved ahead of some of the other states in this union in terms of academic performance. And I remember I had a conversation with Paul Revel, who was the Commissioner of Education in Massachusetts, and Paul told me, he said, you know, Scott, he said, the minute that Massachusetts started to move the dial was the time that we stopped paying attention to our own numbers, started paying attention to the numbers of what we consider to be our international competitors. I think that Texas could learn from that. And I think just looking at op-eds back and forth in Houston and across the state, we're conflicted with that right now. Do we pay attention to STAR data, or do we pay attention to ACT, SAT, and PISA data in terms, or NAEP data for that matter? So yesterday and today, A+, in addition to hosting Ee-Ling, has hosted 12 visitors from local education funds from across the country. So these are my counterparts from places like Chattanooga, Tennessee, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the list goes on and on. Will those LEF leaders please stand and be recognized? So one of the reasons why we host a speaker series is that we want to remind everyone, whether they're in the auditorium or not, that public schools demand public engagement. Without public engagement around public schools, you lose the public in the schools. And I would like to point out that these 12 leaders are reminding their constituents and their citizenry of that same thing. So we're really glad to have all of you here with us in Houston. So this morning we continue our focus on high-performing nations, and this morning we're going to learn about a small nation, at least the education of a small nation named Singapore. We are very, very fortunate to have Ee-Ling Low with us. Ee-Ling is the head of the Office of Academic Quality Management at the National Institute of Education in Singapore. And I had a chance to spend some time with Ee-Ling yesterday afternoon in a work group with the other LEF leaders. And I finally had to stop her because she was using so many acronyms of initiatives and departments. I kind of needed a glossary. But one of the things that I noticed, well, I noticed three things. I noticed organization, I noticed intensity, and I noticed no fooling around. This is serious business to this country, and we are so fortunate to have her. So I've got my learning cap on. We're really excited to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. Ee-Ling Low.